Before we begin, quick reminder to go ahead and click that subscribe button down below if you have not already. We're going to get you guys the best free Broncos coverage out there. So hop aboard, join nearly 27,500 strong. The Denver Broncos, and specifically Bo Nix, sent a message to the NFL that Denver's quarterback carousel since Peyton Manning retired in 2015 is over. The Broncos have found their franchise quarterback for the future, and it was trending this way over the last couple of weeks, but what I saw from Nix on Sunday really cemented it, and I'm not going to let Alex Forsyth getting steamrolled erase what we saw from Nix on that Sunday against a division rival on the road and undefeated as well. Bo Nix against Kansas City threw for 215 yards, 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. It's a pretty average-ish quarterback stat line. If you're just going box score hunting, I don't think you're going to come across those numbers and go, holy cow, Bo Nix is really one of the best rising quarterbacks in the league. But what Nix was able to do is he was able to rattle the Chiefs. There is no doubt in my mind that every single Chiefs fan and coach and player walking out of Arrowhead on Sunday just turned to themselves and went, well, we might have an issue with the Broncos twice a year now. That was kind of a bye game the last near decade. That's no longer the case because Bo Nix got the Broncos in a position to win the game. And the Chiefs, I wouldn't say got lucky because kudos to them. They exploited a weakness that the Broncos had, which was foresight on all kicking operations. But that's something that's not going to happen twice. It better not happen twice. And next time, it's going to be Will Lutz celebrating after a walk-off winner. But let's go back to that final drive. I mean, first off, it all started because Harrison Butker did not get the ball into the landing zone, gifting the Broncos good field position at their own 40-yard line. But the first of 3 third downs, as we look at the film, 3rd and short, and Bo Nix, I mean, this looks routine and simple because that's what it is. It's routine and simple. But it doesn't erase the fact that it's 3rd down, and you have to have it, and he gets this ball on the money to Courtland Sutton to move the sticks. He's not trying to do too much here. He's not trying to get it all in one play. 3rd and short, I need 2 yards, I'll give you 3. How about this one, though? 3rd and 6 to really get yourself in comfortable field goal range. And Nix climbing up the pocket on the move. Remember a few weeks ago, we were complaining about his footwork? How about this footwork for you? Off platform, and he hits a moving target in between the numbers to maximize Courtland Sutton's ability to run after the catch and get as many yards for his kicker as possible. Bo Nix on that drive showed all of Broncos country that he is the man for the job when it comes to slaying the dragon that is the Kansas City Chiefs, who has been terrorizing the AFC West for the last decade. Their stroll to the top of the mountain is over. They've had a nice run, no denying it, but their ability to just wake up every single season and go, well, we have the AFC West in the bag, that's not going to be the case anymore. Maybe the case for this year, but moving forward, not the case anymore. I mean, for one, look at Patrick Mahomes' last 2 games against Denver versus his first 12 games. He's been sacked 7 times the last 2 times out. In the first 12 games, he was sacked 18 times. Proportionally, a major outlier right there. He only turned it over 9 times in the first 12 games. That's less than 1 turnover a game. He's turned it over 3 times in just the last 2 games. So, not only is Bo Nix going to continue to give the Chiefs fits, Patrick Mahomes against this Broncos defense, not as smooth sailing as it once was for Mahomes. But also, the Kansas City Chiefs have not had a major opponent or competition within the AFC West since Mahomes became the starter. I mean, look at the closest team to give them a real run for their money. In 2018, the Chargers tied the Chiefs at 12-4, but the tiebreaker went to Kansas City. Since then, second place has had 7 wins, 8 wins. 2 at 10 wins, not too shabby, then back down to 8 wins. Fair to say the Chiefs have not had a ton of legit competition in their own backyard within their own division. Their winning streak of 8 straight seasons, having won the AFC West, is second best in NFL history, only trailing the New England Patriots. But hot take, I don't think they're going to catch the Patriots. They'll probably get this year, 9 in a row. But after that, you're telling me 2 straight seasons of fending off Bo Nix and the rising Sean Payton Broncos, who are in salary cap hell this year and are just getting all their draft picks back following the Russell Wilson trade? Or even Jim Harbaugh over in LA with the Chargers. Someone's going to knock off the Chiefs. The gap has closed in the AFC West. What was once and for a long time an easy division win for Kansas City, knowing, well, we go into August, we go into September knowing we've got the AFC locked up, or the AFC West locked up. Yeah, that run, that's not going to continue for much longer. Bo Nix on Sunday made sure every single Chiefs fan walking out of that stadium know the Broncos are no longer a gimme. They're no longer an easy 2 wins on the schedule. They're going to take us down to the wire. And we cannot bank on Leo Chenal blocked field goals every single time we play them. So if you are ready for round 2 between the Broncos and the Chiefs, show me in the comment section right now. Drop a DEN. The locker room is hurting after this loss, and this is going to be a major test to the character and the leadership and the makeup of this locker room to put this loss behind them and to bounce back at home with the Falcons coming to town. But if you are wanting to show this team that you are still rocking and rolling with them, drop a DEN in the comment section below. Now, next up on the channel, I want to talk about the huge strides we are seeing Bo Nix make because he is really putting on a show the last couple of weeks. I mean, to start the year, all eyes were on Caleb Williams and Jayden Daniels, and understandably so. They were 1 and 2 in the NFL draft. But the gap has closed for the rookie quarterbacks this year. And we're going to show you that, and I think you're going to be blown away by it. So make sure you stick around. But first, I want to give a quick shout out to our sponsor today, and that is Prize Picks. Prize Picks is the best place to get real money sports action. With over 10 million members and billions of dollars in awarded winnings, Prize Picks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. You just pick more or less on at least 2 players for a shot to win up to 100 times your cash. Run your game all season long on Prize Picks. Prize Picks also does something really cool called Taco Tuesday, which it lowers the stat projection for players. So, Jalen Brunson, I'm taking the more on his points. Here are my selections for Sunday. I'm taking the less on Patrick Mahomes and the more on Jameson Williams. Download the app today and use code CLNS to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. All of that information is in the comments and description of today's video. Download the app today and use code CLNS to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, run your game. We talked about this on yesterday's video, but if you missed it, Bo Nix had a tremendous turnaround from an understandable rookie start, because that's how most rookies start off. I mean, playing catch up a little bit, getting used to the NFL speed. But look at the turnaround from weeks 1 through 4 compared to weeks 5 through 10. Completion percentage up by 6 points. Yards skyrocketed. Touchdowns to the moon. Interceptions down in a larger sample size, and rating up as well. But when you compare Nix to the other 3 rookie quarterbacks who are starting right now consistently, Caleb Williams, Jayden Daniels, Drake Maye, his numbers, for some reason, don't get a little bit more recognition. I mean, he's got more yards and more touchdowns than the guy who went number 1 overall. That's got DJ Moore, Keenan Allen, and the number 9 overall pick, Rome Odunze, to work with. But in Williams' defense, they just fired his offensive coordinator today, which just goes to show how important coaching is for the development of these young quarterbacks. You need good coaches to help you improve as the season goes along. I mean, we were all talking about Bo Nix's footwork a couple of weeks ago. We're not talking about it anymore. You want to know why? That's a reflection of good coaching. I remember this one clip from Mike Tomlin who talked about during the draft, people will often look at prospects and go, oh, you don't want to draft him. He's got bad hands. That's on coaching, right? A coach's job is to make sure he can make his players the best version of themselves and to put his players in positions to succeed. learn what their strengths are, lean into them, and find out what their weaknesses are and build them up. And Sean Payton and his coaching staff are doing a great job of getting the best out of Bo Nix and improving Nix from week 1 to week 10. But we were talking about the improvement Nix has made. Look where Nix stacks up against his peers since week 5. Completion percentage against Jayden Daniels, Caleb Williams, Drake Maye, all go to Nix. Yards, all go to Nix. Touchdowns, all go to Nix. Bo Nix is probably not getting enough recognition right now for being a legitimate candidate for NFL Rookie of the Year. I mean, people are going to be hyper-focused on the way Jayden Daniels started the year. The NFL is not a sprint, it's a marathon. And right now, Bo Nix is making up a lot of ground, and he's got a lot of race left. So huge strides are being made by Nix, and it's super encouraging because every single week it feels like we see a little bit more get added to his plate and him not flinch or get flustered or get overwhelmed by it. Now, before we wrap up, I do want to run through what's going on playoff-wise because we are approaching the Thanksgiving portion of the calendar, and that's usually when the broadcast starts to show us more playoff pictures in the hunt graphics. And despite the loss, Denver still is in the playoff picture. They currently hold on to the number 5 seed, sitting at 5-5. So we still have a lot of football left, but just stick with me for a moment. Let's look at the remaining schedule for Denver. They've got the Falcons coming to town this week. That's going to be a huge game for both teams. The Broncos need to find a way to snap their 2-game losing streak, and Atlanta needs to show that they can bounce back after an embarrassing loss to a Saints team that had lost 7 in a row and was on their interim head coach. After Atlanta, they go to Las Vegas. They got the Browns coming to town on Monday night, which, by the way, the NFL does hate Sean Payton. I don't know if any other team gets a Monday night game before their bye just to take one more day out of the bye week. After that, though, they got the Colts, they got the Chargers, they got the Bengals, they got the Chiefs to wrap up the season. So they got some tough games. I mean, let's look at it one more time here on the remaining schedule. The Falcons is definitely going to be a tough outing. The Raiders suck. The Browns should be an easy win for Denver. And then the bye, a very late bye. They got the Colts at home, Chargers on the road, Bengals on the road, Chiefs at home. Chargers, Bengals, Chiefs, those are all teams, look at the playoff picture, that are in the mix. I mean, the Chiefs sitting at the top. The Colts are just behind the Broncos. The Chargers just ahead of Denver. And the Cincinnati Bengals sitting at 4-6, also just one game back from the Broncos. So this schedule is going to get tough. It's going to be grueling, but there is a lot of pros to it in terms of controlling your own destiny. I mean, look at some potential tiebreakers here. Right now, the Steelers and Ravens look out of reach for Denver, so I'm not too focused on not having a tiebreaker against one of those teams. But you got a tiebreaker over the Jets. If they decide to get their act together, they can't just tie the Broncos. They have to overcome the Broncos. You play the Colts, you play the Chargers again, an opportunity to repent from your loss earlier. You go to Cincinnati in Week 17. That could have major playoff implications. And luckily, Denver will have the ability to control your own destiny. So what is your confidence level for the Broncos making the playoffs? Scale it 1 to 10 for me down below in the comment section. There's a lot of football left, but the Broncos have a little bit of slack because, I mean, across the NFL right now, there are a lot of 2 and 3 win teams. So the way I looked at it was there are 2 wild card spots kind of up for grabs right now with the Ravens or Steelers having a good foothold on that number 5 seed for whoever loses the AFC North. And then there are 5 teams really competing for those last 2 playoff spots. So 1 to 10, I'm probably at a 6.7 right now, right? I'm on the plus side of the field, but there are some tough games coming up, so I'm not going to run all the way to the 10 side. Before we sign off, I do want to show some love to the Blue and Orange Club. Thank you guys so much for being such loyal supporters this season. It's awesome to see familiar names and faces in the comment section every single week. So if you want to get added to the club, hang out with us during our watch parties, and we'll add you with a $100 super chat. Appreciate everyone for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed today's breakdown and video. If you did, give us a like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you all tomorrow.